Good morning. This is Al from Boston. How are you? So, as requested, the squeeze, part one, scene one, all that good stuff. I promised you guys that I would create some content regarding what the squeeze is going to feel like and be like, and this, that, and the other, and what kind of stuff that you should expect from it. Just some tricks, some basic things that you should keep in mind. And let's kick it off. Okay, first things first. When you finally see AMC breaking through the 40s and into the 50s, into the 60s, into the 70s, and all the way up to like, let's say 100, it's going to be pure joy. It's going to be ecstasy, euphoria. It's going to be tantamount to, the day your children were born and euphoria of sex and the feeling of warmth and relief. And it's going to be cathartic. It's going to be amazing. It's going to feel wonderful for some of you guys. While others you're going to have, who are prone to anxiety are going to have anxiety attacks. And it's okay. It's going to be okay. You're going to have a mixture of emotion. And in some places, some parts of the ape community and the retail community, complacency will set in. And I want to warn you against that. So let's give me 1 second. I just have to switch over a slide. Hold on 1 second. Okay, that didn't work. That's fine. No big deal. Okay. So let's talk about this for a sec. Let's examine this. You have a full understanding, a full scope. The idea behind behavioral finance, behavioral psychology, in terms of these finances, is fear. It's ultimately driven by fear and how willing you are, how pliable you are if you're willing to be played with, toyed with by the hedge funds. And it's based off of that theorem that you're either going to sell or you're going to hold until whenever, as soon as we start seeing real numbers, expect a massive crash and a drop. And you should know that they have strategic reserves. There's tons of shares they've held on to and they're not using just for this purpose, just so they can drop the share price in the middle of the squeeze. And they have their pals as well. And that's expected. That's when they expect you to drop. They want you at the first crash, at the first face of adversity, like a market halt or waves of FUD or whatever else they might throw at you. They want you to pop smoke. They want you to leave. They don't want you to be around anymore. They want you to exit your position and take what ill gains, small, like meager gains that you have, right? And it's pathetic that they think we're going to leave this so soon after, 10 months of up and down, crashes, market halts, waves of FUD. They think they're just going to just do this. It's not going to happen. We're going to hold. Now, as that market number goes up, when the market price of AMC goes up or GME goes up, the more fearful you're going to become. You're going to start getting these thoughts like, wow, maybe I should exit soon. Maybe I should get out, take what I got, blah, blah, blah. This is where your conviction really needs to stick. Because guys like me, guys like whoever on the page have done their due diligence. This has potential of reaching much higher numbers than the 5 to 10,000 that you're expected to believe. Why do I say that? Because the data that you're basing that theorem off of, that it's going to go between 5 and 10,000 or whatever, is bogus. The data is fucking garbage. It's manufactured data. We know this. Okay, I'm going to get more into this a little bit. All right, but in the beginning, you're going to feel the ecstasy. You're going to feel happy. You're going to finally feel vindication. But don't expect that to last very long, because they're going to crash this fucking thing. They're going to crash it. They're going to market halt it. They're going to tons of FUD, all kinds of crazy news stories, and this, that, and the other, lawsuits and blah, 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 and whatever they can throw at you. Don't believe a word of it. They cannot get you out of this position. Remember that. As long as you hold, you'll make tons and tons of money. But this is the way in the sequence I believe it's going to go. And the higher this first part goes, the more fearful you're going to become. So you have to maintain yourself. You have to maintain your bearing, because nobody's going to sell. We're in this together. It's like people are hooked arm in arm, like hands across America. We're not going anywhere. And our convictions, if you need convictions, borrow some of mine, borrow some of the other long-term apes that have been around here, other long-term investors. Remember, there's institutional investors that have been in this play that have devoted millions of dollars. So if they can hold, why can't you? Doesn't make any sense, right? So don't sell. Don't sell between 5 and 10,000. Next slide. All right. Part 2. This is the middle part, right? So some time has gone by, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, whatever. This is not the arc of the play. All right. The arc, for those of you who don't know, is the precipice, if you will, of a mountain at the tip top. There is none in a squeeze. There is no arc in a squeeze. I don't care what anyone tells you, what a behavior finance, whatever books that you pull out of. I've spoken to enough people to tell me in an infinity squeeze, there is no arc. It's infinity. It just goes up. It doesn't come down until everybody sells out, right? Even then, it wouldn't be considered an arch. It's not like a regular stock play. This is an infinity squeeze. There's a difference, right? There's no climax. It's just a slow, steady rise. It's a climb to infinity. So in other words, don't sell yourself short. Don't ever sell yourself short in an infinity squeeze. Remember, we own the float multiple times. This thing it's like a runaway train. It can just keep on going as long as we let it, as long as we don't drop out, as long as we don't freak out. There is a number of people that will try to freak out. The baby apes, the ones that are paper hands, the people that probably should have exited the position years ago, and we could have bought the shares up. But they're there. We have no choice. They're going to freak out, and they're going to, when the price drops, they're going to leave. That's fine. Let them go. We'll stick to our convictions. This is not a regular squeeze, right? They cannot do price suppression like we did before. All they can do is drop the price, but they can't suppress the price. So in other words, it's a temporary thing, a couple of days, 30 days the max, 30 days. That's all they can halt it for. It's a month. That gives you a month vacation, not having to look at the stock. And all you have to do is walk away from the stock without looking at it, not exiting your position. And the stock will rise back up again. That's the beauty of this. That is the beauty of this thing. They've got you freaked out and you're freaking yourself out for no real reason. This thing is fire and forget. You know, they cannot force you out of your position. Only you can do that. But let me tell you something. In the middle part of the squeeze, and if it's being halted for 20, 30 days, whatever, this is where the bleeding for the hedge funds is completely uncontrollable. The risk management department and the company is more or less just out of the equation. They're no longer like whatever, you know, they're no longer a factor, because you hit a certain price and it's the line of no return. You can't come back from that. It's just a runaway train that's past anything that anything or anyone can control. It's just, it is the way it is. Let's talk real quick about different parabolic arches. Okay, this is a parabolic arch, right? This is when a normal stock, it would go and you'd want to try to sell right around here, right? That's the rational mind, to sell as high as it gets, and nobody knows when that is, but then it comes crashing down, right? That's not the nature of this. Look at the short squeeze. This is the Volkswagen squeeze. How it goes from here, goes up, a bunch of people sell or they short, goes back down, and then boom, it goes parabolic, right? I see something similar to that happening. Then disregard this part. I see from that part right here, us going like this every day. You know, the mountain climber. This took me forever to find this graphic, by the way. It's just going to go up like this, right? And it's just going to go up. And this is the paper hands, paper hands, paper hands. And we're just going to keep climbing. We're just going to keep climbing. And it's going to go to over $100,000. I think it has potential to go to $1 million. And I'll tell you the reason why, okay? But take a look at this, right? This is the stuff you're talking about. There is no parabolic arch. There's no tippy toes on this squeeze. It just keeps going. It just keeps rising. That's the best part. You don't have to bracket and sell it 5 to 10 and whatever. You don't need to do any of that stuff. All you need to do is hold, and the thing will naturally rise on its own. It will just rise. Little by little, it'll just rise. And it could be huge gains. And I believe at one point, you know, because nobody's going to be selling. I'm going to assume nobody's going to sell. It's going to reach a point where they're going to be exhausted. They're not going to be able to short anymore. They have no resources left. And then it's just going to go boom, another huge market lift, like just one of these things in the middle of nowhere, and it's going to go even higher. It's even higher and higher and higher. That's what you're waiting for. That's what you want. You don't want to let other people tell you, oh, this is the bracket, you should sell it. It's foolishness, people. It's absolute foolishness. Hold, just hold. All right. Let's go to the exit strategy. And I want to credit Charlie from Long Island, who asked the other day she's one of my followers. She says, what's an exit strategy? I love that statement. So Charlie, that's a shout out to you. We have no exit strategy. right? We just gonna reach generational wealth, and that's gonna be over 100,000, 500,000 to a million. That's the only way that you should leave your possession. Selling under $100,000 is stupid. It really is stupid. It's a meager amount. It's pennies. You're getting peanuts for what the value of the stock is, right? They have the money. They have the money between themselves. The DTCC has the money. The Fed insures it. So there's three layers that tell me that, they can come up with the money. That's what it's telling me. There's three ways we get paid, right? The hedge funds first, the NSCC, which is a part of the DTCC, that has a $67 trillion insurance policy. Good luck trying to break that thing. And then the federal government, which has countless trillions. If you think that they're going to, quote, run out of money, you are not financially literate. You don't know what you're talking about. Just shut the hell up and stop spreading dumbassery. If you have these dumbass attacks, shoot me a message. I'll send you a note correcting you, and I'll try to be nice about it, I promise you. But it's stupidity to think that they're going to run out of money. It's insured. It's just insured so many ways that it's impossible, really is impossible. And that's what it is. Why do I feel that this has the, because I get messages all the time from people, people, I'm not going to say who the other YouTubers are, but, they have brackets between $10,000 and $15,000, $20,000, whatever. Why do I think that they're wrong, right? And this is not a shot at them personally or anything like that, or an ad hominem attack. This is just how I feel. I feel in the beginning, January, the data has been manipulated. I think there's coding in all the data the New York Stock Exchange and Citadel produces that goes through the stock exchange that is compromised. It's codified through an algorithm, or some kind of delaying, or some kind of treachery to give us bad data. That's why I feel the majority of people that do TA analysis are sometimes wrong because of this, because the data is messed up. What we're buying and selling doesn't correlate with the data that's being produced. Why? Because there's treachery involved. Peter Hahn, who is a Twitter personality, would agree with me on this. In fact, I saw him the other day just saying, hey, in fact, this morning, he said, this Ortex data, all that data that we're getting, it's all bogus. It's guesstimates at best. So why on earth would you believe that the potentiality is between 10 and 15,000 or whatever based on data that's wrong? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you believe that? The data that you're getting is wrong. It does not reflect reality. And plus, they control the data. They want this to appear to be as small as possible. That's what they want you to do. They want you to think that this is just a play that has limits. This play has no limits. It can go as hard as we want it to. It's all part and parcel of the grand deception of the market and of this play. Think about, since January, how many lies and bullshit that we've uncovered, right? All the lies, all the stunts, the market manipulation. Now ask yourself, do you actually believe the data? Do you actually believe that, the level 2 data, the cells, all that stuff? Do you actually believe that the volume is this, X, Y, and Z? And do you actually believe that we can only go from 10 to 15,000 the most? Do you actually believe that data? This is where you have to be a critical thinker, people. Everything is a lie. It's all lies, layers and layers upon lies and deceptions. Now you know, and now you're free to sell high because you had this notion in your head that's been fed into you that there was a limit to this sale. There was a limit, which is 10 or 15 or whatever, a couple thousand. Absolutely wrong. The data is wrong. Data has been manipulated. They own the data. They feed us the data because they want us to think us a certain way. They want us to think X, Y, and Z because the data reflects that, right? The data says so. The simple truth is that data is manufactured by some asshole sitting in a cubicle that's part of a grand scheme, a grand battle plan to make you think a certain way. That's what it's there for, okay? So now you know the price does not reflect reality. They control the data. You can sell at much higher numbers. You're free to sell that stock in. So don't sell yourself short. Wait till it gets to astronomical heights like me. I'm going to 1 million, baby. I know a ton of you guys are going to be following me on this. And you know what? I'm happy to be with you on this journey. And I'll try to webcast that day or simulcast that day. And we'll go to 1 million together. So, hey, Al from Boston, a couple days from Thanksgiving. Today's the 23rd. If I don't speak to you before, then have a great Thanksgiving. God bless you and your family. I hope you have a wonderful time. And I'll see you after it's all said and done. See you. Bye.